Today I'm talking to you about a lens that I did not think that I was going to like nearly as much as I did.
I would not like to update my account settings. I just want an XL. Just get me an XL, Uber. Please, sorry. Okay, Uber XL ordered.
They said it was a Camry! It doesn't look like a Camry!
Well, don't trust what you heard from the bubble, dog. I've been busting out features on a DoubleTree shuttle. The FaceTimes asked me how brothers stay so humble. Well, I just had to ask the driver for some help with the buckle. But anyway, backtrack, I've been doing concerts in the mirror. And I got fam who wanna get the updates in the earphones and keep on thinking this here could make a full-time career. Maybe it won't, but I'll be up in your turf with the faux fur all year, bro. And I said, ooh, I'ma get a half of the town in the mood. We be throwing actors in Kalamazoo, thinking I went platinum the sound of the room. And people gonna be tracking me down with the truth.
Welcome to the studio. Today I'm doing a number of different reviews on Nikon Z series, both cameras like the Z7 II and glass as well. One lens that didn't make a full video, but I thought that I would take a few minutes to speak to you about is the 24-200 f4 to 6.3. I went in, so I guess I was complaining a little bit. I was at my local camera shop, BJ Photo here in Waterloo. If you're interested in buying Nikon products, head on over to BJ Photo in Waterloo or make the drive. It's worth the, I'll stop. I was there and I was complaining that the 24-105 f4 that's on the Nikon roadmap is not out yet. I was like, I really just want that lens so badly. And Abdullah was like, hey man, check out this lens. It's actually pretty good. And I was like, 24-200. I shot an 18-200 back when I was getting started in photography, and it seemed amazing at the time, and then as soon as I compared it to a proper professional 24-70, there was just no comparison at all. And I was like, I shot one of these before, a lens this small that does so many things, there's no way it can be any good. But as it turns out, it's actually, well, it doesn't get the S, so it's not special. Is that what that stands for, the S? This 50-1.2 gets the S. This lens does not get the S. Maybe to talk about why it doesn't get the S and why it's not considered to be an S-line lens is maybe because I honestly don't know. After shooting this on the Z6 II, at full megapixels of the Z6 II, it was fine. On the Z7 II, even at full megapixels, 45 plus megapixels of this camera, it was still really, really great. I would suspect that maybe technically it's not as good as it should be when you get into the higher megapixel cameras, but if you're shooting something like the Z6 II or if you're shooting 4K video, I think this is gonna do a surprisingly good job for you.
Hard pack on the lip. That's gonna help us to get a solid grip to really chuck some flip. Day's been pretty good, couple 3,000 meters or whatever. Johnny here has got the freshly waxed Ghost Stick.
I guess the one thing you need is you need light. So it's a 4 to 6.3, which means that basically kind of the way that I operated this in the field was I would just put my aperture at 6.3. So as I zoomed around, it didn't make my aperture any different. Maybe that's another thing to mention, that when you're at full zoom, it becomes that large here. But when you're at not full zoom, there's also a little lock on here. One thing that it does miss out on and that I wish that it did have is an autofocus slash manual focus slider. I love to be able to just click out of that quickly if I've framed a shot, especially like snowboard ski film, that I don't want my autofocus to try to make any decisions. If I know my frame, if I know my focus, I just want to quickly just like autofocus to achieve focus and then quickly click it off. Honestly, my only complaint with this lens, the front filter is a 60 67, which means if you have a bunch of 67 filters, they will screw on to your lens. That's how filters work. But the point is that they are less expensive than the bigger ones. So if you're looking for something that's like this 82, that gets a little bit more expensive as you get the bigger filters. Smaller filters usually cost less money. And that's economics with Taylor Jackson episode 1. Buy the blockchain, buy it all. We use this lens a lot and I just really, truly enjoyed the experience all winter. The, I guess, main benefit for me, knowing that I'm gonna be outside doing photography and video in brighter conditions, and also usually being in spaces where it's just not conducive, that I can't just change lenses if I'm like, oh, like I need my 7200 on this and you're in a blizzard, it like becomes a little bit more challenging, especially when you're a crew of 1. So just having this really did help me out in a lot of situations and got me a lot of shots that I would not have got had I only had the 24-70 f2.8. So yeah, that's my partial review of the 24-200 f4 to 6.3. We call it a 6.3. Let's do, it's a 24-200 f6.3 in actual field use, that just lock it there and you just feel like you have a fixed aperture lens. Now I kind of wish that they would have just made it a 6.3 and they could have made it even smaller than this and maybe even a little bit better optically. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, I'm not an engineer.
Okay. Nice. Got it. What a recovery!